Cray had been driving the long-haul routes for years, navigating the desolate highways that cut through the heart of the country. He was a weathered trucker with tales of lonely roads and eerie encounters, but nothing had prepared him for that fateful night. It was past midnight when Cray found himself on an isolated stretch of road shrouded in fog. The dense mist swallowed the beams of his headlights, reducing visibility to nearly zero. His radio crackled with static, the signal weak and erratic. As Cray maneuvered cautiously through the haze, he glimpsed a figure ahead. A hitchhiker? He slowed down, trying to discern more details through the fog. The shape grew clearer, a woman, a silhouette ethereal and haunting. Feeling a pang of sympathy for the stranded traveler, Cray pulled over. The woman approached, her features obscured by the mist. She wore a long, tattered dress, and her hair draped like curtains around her face. "Need a ride?" Cray called out, expecting a grateful nod or a word of thanks. Instead, the woman wordlessly entered the cab and settled in the passenger seat, her presence unnervingly silent. Cray hesitated for a moment before resuming his journey. The silence in the cabin was thick, suffocating. He tried to make small talk, but the woman remained stoic, her eyes fixed straight ahead. The fog seemed to thicken around them, and the radio emitted only static. Cray's unease grew, and he stole glances at his passenger. Her eyes, when he caught glimpses in the rearview mirror, were an eerie shade of glowing amber. He blinked, his heart racing, and glanced back again. The seat was empty. Panic surged through Cray's veins. He slammed the brakes, bringing the truck to an abrupt halt. He stepped out, scanning the surroundings, but there was no sign of the mysterious woman. With trembling hands, Cray climbed back into the truck and continued driving, haunted by the memory of the eerie passenger. He couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, the sense that something otherworldly had entered his world that foggy night on the lonesome road. From that night onward, whenever Cray found himself on that desolate stretch of highway, he couldn't shake the feeling of an otherworldly presence, an unsettling reminder of that spectral hitchhiker who had vanished into the fog. Cray tried to dismiss the encounter as fatigue playing tricks on his mind. Yet, every time he traversed that desolate highway, an inexplicable chill crawled up his spine. His nights became haunted by restless dreams, visions of the mysterious woman with glowing amber eyes. One stormy evening, while hauling a load through the same ominous stretch of road, a series of unexplained events unfolded. The radio blared to life, emitting an eerie static that echoed with whispers, faint, but undeniably chilling. The truck's electronics flickered erratically, casting dancing shadows across the cabin. Cray's heart pounded in his chest as the truck's engine sputtered and died, leaving him stranded in the darkness. He stepped out into the raging storm, the rain lashing against his face like icy needles. Amid the deafening thunder, he caught a glimpse of movement in the shadows. The woman, her spectral form now translucent, stood a few feet away, her eyes radiating an otherworldly glow. She beckoned to him, her voice a ghostly whisper carried by the howling wind. Cray's fear was palpable, but a strange curiosity gripped him. Against his better judgment, he followed her spectral figure into the misty darkness. The landscape transformed around him, morphing into an ethereal realm, an eerie juxtaposition of reality and the unknown. The air grew thick with an unearthly presence, and Cray felt a chill that penetrated his very soul. The woman led him to an old, dilapidated house shrouded in mist. Its crumbling facade loomed ominously, windows like empty eyes gazing into an abyss. She pointed wordlessly to the threshold before vanishing into the night. Cray hesitated, his heart racing with a mixture of dread and curiosity. With trembling steps, He crossed the threshold, the creaking of the door echoing through the eerie silence. Inside, the house was frozen in time, covered in layers of dust and decay. Shadows danced in the dim light, and whispers echoed through the hollow corridors. As Cray explored further, he stumbled upon an old photograph. It depicted the woman he had encountered, a ghostly visage from a bygone era, hauntingly familiar. Before he could comprehend the implications, the house seemed to tremble, its walls pulsating with an otherworldly energy. In a blinding flash, Cray found himself back in his truck, the storm raging outside. The haunted stretch of road lay before him, the spectral house nowhere in sight. Yet, the echoes of that otherworldly encounter lingered, etched into his memory forevermore. From that day forward, Cray never drove that forsaken road without a lingering sense of the paranormal lurking.